This is Barry Shaw, the view from Israel, Israel at war. For today, I want to try and cast a ray of hope, if I can, of a world over here without Hamas in Gaza and a future Gaza. What can a new Gaza look like? And what needs to be done to prepare the way for a better future? One of the things we cannot do is to be a testing ground for a failed two-state solution. We need original thinking. What do I mean by that? A new Gaza must not be handed over to the Palestinian Authority with its corrupt leadership and its 50-year baggage of terror and anti-Semitism. This rotten leadership has squandered the money and been protected by myopic governments and organizations led by the United States. This has to stop if we need peace for the future. Israel has no desire to rule over Gaza, but a solution should not be the instatement of the Palestinian Authority inside Gaza. We need, as I said before, original thinking. A new Gaza can become a new Middle East Côte d'Azur on the Mediterranean, as imagined by Israelis who began to build and develop that paradise in Gaza until we decided to collectively withdraw or evacuate every single Jew from the Gaza Strip to hand it over to the Palestinian Authority, handing them the beginning of a paradise. And this was ruined by the Palestinian Authority and Hamas and all the other terror-supporting Palestinian organizations. And let me just give you some hard facts in order to point out what I mean. And I'm going to limit myself to the Palestinian Authority. Palestinian Authority, all of Palestine has been terror-based. Let me give you some simple examples. Yasser Arafat was a terrorist before he received his Peace Prize. Yasser Arafat was a terrorist after he received the Nobel Peace Prize. Mahmoud Abbas, the current president of the Palestinian Authority, trained in Holocaust denial at Moscow University, is a terrorist. He was one of the masterminds of the Munich Olympic massacre, in which 11 Israeli athletes were slaughtered. Terrorist. The next favored leader by the Palestinians is Marwan Barghouti, who is currently serving 5 life sentences for the mass murder of Jews. The Palestinians living under the Palestinian Authority had an election with a month ago, slightly more than a month ago, towards the end of September, about 3 weeks before the slaughter of 1,400 Jews in Israel by Palestinian terrorists. And the results of that poll, taken by a Palestinian survey and polling center, were frightening. Of the Palestinians living under the Palestinian Authority, 58% would prefer to have Ismail Haniyeh, the head of Hamas, as their president, instead of Mahmoud Abbas, who only received 37% of the vote. That is a majority. The students at Birzeit University overwhelmingly elected 2 months ago their Hamas political party to head their student body. Birzeit is not in the Gaza Strip. It is 5 miles north of the Palestinian Authority. In other words, the Palestinian Authority is steeped today in anti-Semitism, Jew hatred, a life without Israel, as they say, from the river to the sea. These are the last political body you must put in charge of the new Gaza. So let me give another hope for the new Gaza. The new Gaza could be built on a new founding of the Abraham Accords, which would bring in Saudi Arabia. The new Gaza could be rebuilt by the wealth of Saudi Arabia and the involvement of the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. in order to reconstruct a new tourism center called the State of Gaza, the independent State of Gaza. This State of Gaza, and there have been plans that have been produced decades ago by the Israeli government, would have an offshore airport and a port. This airport and the port would be supervised by both Israel and Egypt, because Israel and Egypt are the two countries that border Gaza, in order to ensure that Gaza would be a demilitarized, peaceful tourist paradise. And therefore, we check anything that's coming in or out of Gaza to make sure the hand of Iran and other malevolent actors are not trying to bring in material and things as they did for Hamas. Now, this could turn into, as I say, the new Côte d'Azur of the Mediterranean Sea, with Gaza City acting as a major tourist center with restaurants, 4 or 5-star hotels on the sea. This is a bright future, but it can only be bright if it's not dimmed by people who want to carry on the myopic failure of a two-state solution. An independent state of Gaza could in fact have its own choice of remaining independent or confederating with either the peaceful Palestinian Authority, we're talking now a decade or two down the road, or even confederating with Israel, who by then would have raised the new Gaza into a new, also high-tech center. But this is for the future, and the future mustn't be spoiled by people, including members of the current Biden administration, who are still anchored to a solution which is a non-solution. It needs original thinking, and I hope this talk to you would give you some ideas and imagination of how we can create a far more peaceful Middle East. This is Barry Shaw, The View from Israel.